I hope you can still hear me. As I say, if you do want to speak to me, switch your mic back on and just ask me any questions. So, Sarah, you've been with me since March.
Yes, indeed.
Has your life been transformed then? Because you must have heard me say a lot of things.
I've heard you say all sorts of things. And indeed, I find it very inspiring and certainly food for a lot of thought, and has helped a little piece, along with Mark's mindfulness.
Right.
I should really be flat out all the time.
Well, the thing is that even if you glean one little thing that helps you slightly, then it's been worth it. And sometimes it's just about taking the time out for yourself. I think that as much as anything else, that's what hypnosis does. You know, we go to our doctors and doctors are limited for time. How often do you get just an hour to focus on you, on what you want to achieve with somebody that wants the same thing for you? You know, that's very rare that happens. I think a lot of the benefits of a hypnotherapy session is just being in the presence of somebody whose focus is on you and allowing yourself to just forget about everything else for an hour.
Yes, and being in the moment.
Yes, it is. And we don't do it often enough. We really don't. And most of us either living worrying about things we should have done or could have done, or worrying about things that might happen or could happen, instead of living right here in this moment. And it's easy to get distracted. But yeah, nice to see you, Diana Whitley. Good to see you. Diana Whitley is a brilliant hypnotherapist, lives in the States. I forget where you live now, but she did a wonderful, if you're interested in EFT, then Diana did a wonderful presentation for the Creating the Body, Health and Happiness group, and it's on my YouTube channel. And she's absolutely brilliant in what she does. So if you're interested, and she's here with us today, which is great. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. And can I say that they just have finished some studies showing that EFT absolutely is real, absolutely has physiological effects on the body, the genes, the nervous system. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, yeah. I still do the I'm terrific thing.
Is that great?
Whenever I'm doubting myself, Diana, I do that. Yeah, I'm terrific.
Great. Me too.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, ruins your hairstyle, but never mind.
All right.
Right. Okay. Look, if anyone else joins, I'll let them in. But as I said, today is really about working on habitual negative thinking, and we all do it at times. We've now got this latest thing we call it is the imposter monster, that voice in our head that says we can't do this, we can't do that, or worry about things. And you probably know, especially if you've been watching these for a while now, my thinking on this is that I say it sounds a strange thing to say, nothing is real. And people say, well, that's a bit stupid because I know I'm looking at this computer, my computer screen is real. But that's not what I mean by this. What I mean by that is that when we think about our past, it's not exactly as it was because our memory is not 100%. And even if it was, there's nothing we can do about it now. Sorry, a second. I'm asking myself questions here when I shouldn't be. Right. Even if it was, there's nothing we can do about it. So there's no point in worrying about it. But we tend to worry about it. And they say, if we're worrying about the past, then we kind of suffer from depression. The future hasn't happened yet. So it can only be imagined. So that's not real either. That's what we were saying a moment ago with Sarah. The only thing that's real is right here in this moment. But most of us are not living in this moment. We're living in the past or we're living in the future. I did some studies some years ago, I don't know how long ago, you could see this research somewhere, but they put this guy in one of these, I think they call them HMRI scanners, where you can see what activities going on in the brain. And they gave this guy a simple task, and the task was just to press a button in his left hand or his right hand randomly, whenever he wanted to. So they wired his brain up so they could see what activity was going on and gave him this task. And after 5 or 10 minutes, the people who were looking at this scan could predict which thumb he was going to press before he pressed it. And sometimes that was 15 seconds before he pressed it, even though he thought he was pressing his thumb on the button as he thought about it. And what came out of this bit of research is that we can't do anything. We can't pick up a cup. We can't meet each other for the first time. We can't present without our brain running to an outcome. So in other words, everything that we do has already been decided upon and figured out before we even move a muscle. So if I was to ask you to pick that cup up that's in front of you, or pick a pen up off your desk, you could do that really simply and easily. To build a robot to do that one simple task would be immense. It would take the best mechanics, the best computer people to build a robot to just do that one simple task, pick that pen up or a cup up without dropping it, put it back on the table. And yet, if you think about picking a cup up, the moment you think about picking a cup up, everything you have to do to pick the cup up and pour some in your mouth without dropping it, put it back on that table. That's right, Diana. See, it wasn't a suggestion. Everything you have to do to make that happen would have been figured out before you move a muscle. So when I read this piece of information, because that's barely what it is, it occurred to me that I can't speak to you, I can't present, I can't do anything without my brain running to an outcome. So let's say in the past, and most of us, if you've ever presented, we go through those moments of doubt, thinking, oh, what if I trip up on the podium? What if I forget my words? What if I drop my papers? Whatever it might be, we go through the worst case scenario. And then that affects the way we step up to present, because our brain is going to run to an outcome. And generally, because our brain's trying to look after us and stop it from being embarrassed or being hurt, it's going to run to the things that could go wrong so we could check it out. So now, knowing that at this point in time, before I move, whatever I'm worrying about, whatever I'm anxious about, is only at this point in time my imagination, and believing that I have complete control over my imagination, I now can imagine what I want to imagine. So in the past, where I might have imagined everything going wrong, when I go to present, and I do present all over the world, I think they're all going to be friendlies. They're going to love what I've got to say, and we're going to have a great time together. And I walk on the stage, or I walk up to present thinking that, and that's generally what happens. And so sometimes, but that voice in our head, which is continually reminding us of the things that go wrong, it's a learned behavior. It starts as a child, when we have to step out in front of the class and read a poem, or we have to do something where we're going to be judged, and then we worry about it and we get anxious about it. And then if we don't achieve what we want, and that voice then becomes louder in our head, and then it becomes learned. And so, like with every learned behavior, whether it's driving, walking, talking, reading, writing, riding a bicycle, typing, once it's learned to the point where it becomes an automatic function, something we do without thinking, we no longer have conscious control over it. Even though now you might say, well, I've presented for ages. I'm using that as kind of analogy, but it could be anything that you want to do. Even though now you know you're safe, now you know you're good at what you do, that habitual thinking style carries on. I see people who smoke, as you probably know, and I've seen 25,000 smokers in the time I've been doing this work. And I sometimes see people who have smoked 30 cigarettes for 30 years. Some have smoked for 50 years. And I say to them, that's an incredible feat. To try and remember to do something 30 times a day, every single day for 30 years without fail, it's an incredible feat. You couldn't do that consciously. At some point, maybe as a child, a teenager, it seemed important. And you wouldn't have done it consciously, but you go, remind me to have 30 cigarettes a day, because it's important. And the moment you hand that job over, you create that part that smokes, and you no longer have conscious control over it. People can put your conscious mind on things, but the moment you get disrupted, you're going to go back to doing it properly. It won't matter if you learn to ride a bicycle as a child. It won't matter if you've ridden a bike for 30 years. You'll get on a bike, still be able to ride it. If you learn to swim as a child and you haven't swum for 40 years, someone pushes you in the water, you will immediately be able to swim. Once it's learned, that program runs. And in general, these programs enable us to function at the level that we function as human beings. We go to a door and we just pull the handle down. We expect it to open. We've done it so many times. The only time it will kind of interrupt that pattern is if it doesn't work. And for a moment you'll think, how do I do this? But these things, if you thought we had to learn to walk, we're not born with the ability to walk. We have to learn to walk. And if you see a child, and some of you might have grandchildren or children that have done this, you see them pulling themselves up on the settee. They take a couple of steps, they balance, and they fall down. They get up and they do it again. And we all had to learn to walk. Just think for a moment if we had to think about walking. I'm going to put this foot here, that foot there, balance, put this foot here, but our head would be so full of walking, we wouldn't be able to think about anything else. We learn to talk. And if you're an English speaker, I know some people here have got 2 or 3 languages, but once you've learned English, it'd be impossible to not understand me. It's the same with writing and reading. If I was to hold up a word and say, don't read this word, you have no choice in it. You would have to read it. The programming, once it's set, just happens automatically. And in general, it works for us, works really well for us. It enables us to function at the level we function as human beings. Where it works against us is when we learn some habitual ways of thinking, negative ways of thinking. And as much as we can put our conscious mind on it, which is what people are trying to teach you to do with what they call the imposter monster voice, unless you change that at an unconscious level, that's going to continue to happen. It's as if when we create one of these habitual ways of thinking, it's as if we create a part of us that's then doing that for us. And it believes it's doing a good job for us, because at some point, it's just Freddy theory. I know it's other people's theory as well, but it's Freddy theory, that when we make a decision that becomes an action, that becomes a habitual behavior, in the moment of making that decision, there seems to be a really good reason to do so, a positive intention behind it. I have people come and see me and they cut themselves, or they're pulling their eyelashes out, or pulling their hair out. They're doing things that are detrimental. And I say, at some point, there seemed to be a positive intention behind it. People say, well, what possible good would that do? Why would anyone want to pull their eyelashes out? Why would anyone want to pull their hair out? Or why would anyone want to cut themselves and hurt themselves? Well, the thing is, if you're suffering from emotional pain and you have no control over that, you can pulling your eyelashes out and feeling that pain, which is something you can control, will distract you from the emotional pain, even if it's for a few seconds. If you're so suffering so badly with emotional pain that cutting your arm, cutting your leg, that pain that you feel then, as bad as it is, just distracts you from the emotional pain, which you feel you have no control over. So even though some of the things, the behaviors that people carry out, we carry out as human beings, seem ridiculous, when we set that behavior up, there appeared to be a good reason. And in that moment, you say, look, remind me in this situation, do this. And from then on, that program runs. So when we do this work in a while, and I help you to go into hypnosis, I will speak directly to the part of you that is responsible for your habitual thinking. And some of it's going to be positive. If you continually remind yourself that you're a good person, that you are of value and worth, that's a great way of thinking. But if your thinking is, I'm never going to amount to anything, I'm never going to achieve this, this is scary, this is frightening, even though you know consciously that that is an irrational thought, then I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to assess those ways of thinking, and then find another way, go to your creative mind and find other ways of thinking that will enable you to be everything you want to be. Allow you the natural concerns that everyone should have, so you're not just doing stuff that's detrimental to you, but at the same time allowing you the freedom from those negative habitual ways of thinking. And we'll see what happens, okay? As I always say, I'm not promising anything, but you know the power of your mind. And I honestly believe, and this is another Freddy theory, that our whole being is geared toward thriving. If you are ill, your body wants you to be well. If you're unhappy, your mind and your body to be happy. If you're sad, it wants you to be happy. It only ever wants you to thrive. But generally, through society, through teaching, through all kinds of reasons, we are convinced otherwise. I think, and you've seen me working with pain now as well, all we are doing is giving ourselves permission to thrive, permission to switch off that useless pain, whether it's emotional or physical. And given the opportunity, the unconscious mind will silence that negative, habitual voice and way of thinking. That's my belief. I'm going to ask it to find some new choices for you, other ways of thinking that will allow you to be everything you want to be. I will ask it to take those new choices, integrate them into your body and your mind. And when that happens, you'll find yourself just thinking positively. And that's not just being ridiculously positive. You'll know the difference between what's real and what's not. And you'll know what you can and you cannot do. But I promise you this, whatever you think you are far, far, far more than that. Most of the time, we're just getting in our own way. I might even leave you with my voice in your head, because I do know what you can achieve. I know what we can achieve once we get that negative way of thinking out of the way. We make excuses for ourselves, and we all do it. Oh, I'd like to have that, but my body to be like that, but I'm getting on, I'm getting old. That's not going to happen. We make excuses. I'd like to do this. And be aware that that right side of your brain, the conscious part of your brain, makes stuff up. It just makes stuff up. It makes it to justify why we behave in the way we behave. Even bad behavior, justify it. It'll say, well, yeah, but I have a right to feel like that, I have a right to be angry, I have a right to behave like that. It will make stuff up. If I was to hypnotize you and I would suggest that you had your shoes on the wrong feet, I'll say 1, 2, eyes open. You would put your left shoe on your right foot and your right shoe on your left foot. And then if I was to point that out to you, you would find a reason why you are wearing your shoes on the wrong feet, because your conscious mind will just justify why we do it. We do that when we buy stuff. How many times have you bought something and then you look at it and you think it's ridiculous, and then you think, then that part of your brain goes, oh yeah, but they are the right color, or whatever it might be. It justifies stuff. So most of the time, our conscious part of our brain is just justifying our behavior, even though we know in our heart that's not probably the right thing to do. Even though we know in our heart, of course I can do this. You listen to that voice that says, it gives us a reason for why we're not doing it. So anyway, we're going to get that part of you out of the way today. Get in touch with that unconscious part of your being, the instinctive part of your being that knows what you absolutely can do, that knows what you can be. And then we're going to change that way of thinking for you and see what happens, right? All you have to do today is absolutely nothing. Look on this as time out for you. Understand that while we're together today, You are all that matters to me, and I want you to be happy, and I want you to be well, and I want you to achieve what you want to achieve. But I also want you to understand that you don't have to achieve anything. You're already a whole being. I spoke to a client the other day, and she wants to do this new training. She wants to do, not nothing to do with me, but she's going to do this training. And I said, and she said, well, I'm not sure if I'm even going to enjoy it. I said, why are you going to do it? She said, well, I want to improve myself. Now, this lady's in her 50s. She's got two, I think 3 grown-up children. One of them is a doctor. And I said, why do you want to improve? You're already phenomenal. We don't look at things that we do and appreciate what we've done. It's okay to strive, not even strive, because that's another word I wouldn't want to use. It's okay to enjoy learning. It's okay enjoying doing new things without thinking that you have to do it to improve yourself. By the end of today's session, you are going to understand that you are already a whole being. You are already, and I'm going to say it now, I'm going to say it a few more times so you understand it. You are already the most incredible creation in the known universe. There is no one like you. You are unique. On a planet of 7.5 billion human beings, you are unique. There has never been anyone like you. There will never be anyone like you again. You are already a whole being. You're already the most incredible creation in the known universe. There is nothing else like you. Just for a moment, before we even get into hypnosis, I want you to think about your body. You can do this eyes open, eyes closed. But think about your body and think about all the things that you've achieved through that body. Some of you have children. Think of how incredible that is, that your body's produced another human being. Think about your feet for a moment. We don't give our feet enough credit. How many places have you been because you met because of your feet? Just think about that for a moment. Think about our hands. The way they work, it's just incredible. How many people have you held with those hands? How much love have you felt with those hands? How many things have you achieved with hands? And that's just 2 parts of our body. I won't mention the other parts that we can get pleasure from, just in case this, it upsets a few people. But think about the pleasure you've had for your body. Think about the experiences you can have with your body and your mind. And just for a while today, I want you to start appreciating and knowing it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to appreciate yourself and treat your body with the kindness that it. I often say to my clients, if you just treat yourself with the same love and kindness that you treat your best friend or you treat your partner, then we'd all live to 90, we'd all be happy. But most of us don't appreciate ourselves enough. We don't care about ourselves enough. We show love and kindness to so many other people and ignore this transport we're in here. So at some point, I'm going to get you to the essence of who you are. If you're a religious person, you might call that your spirit, you might call that your soul. We're going to get the essence of who you are, just to drift away from your body. It'll be a feeling of liberation. So you can actually look at your body in that chair for a moment. And you are already the most incredible creation in this universe. We beat ourselves up. I could be taller, I could have more hair, I could be thinner, I could be more muscular, I could be this, I could be that. Instead of appreciating, you're already the most incredible creation. And just show your body some appreciation. Instead of judging yourself against everything around you. I had a client came to see me once. She wanted to lose a stone in weight. And she was absolutely incredible. She was beautiful. I'm not joking. She was, absolutely beautiful woman. And I said to her, why do you want to lose a stone in weight? She said, my husband, who was into his designer clothes and designer cars and watches and shoes, thinks that I will look better a stone lighter. So I said to her, well, I can help you lose the stone, but the truth of the matter is the wrong person's in the chair. I said, your husband that should be sitting in that chair. I said, and I said, and as sad as it is, you're never going to be tall enough, blonde enough. You're never going to be blonde. There's always going to be someone taller and blonder than you are. It's going to be someone thinner than you are. That is just the way it is. And if you're doing things because someone else thinks you should be thinner, because then you're doing it for the wrong purpose. I would say to you, look after your body, because it's our transport. I understand that this is my physical, my transport. Freddy is somewhere here. The essence of who I am, that intangible part of my being, the observer in this physical form, the passenger. This isn't who I am, but I understand that without it, I cannot communicate with you. I cannot move, I cannot speak, I cannot see without this physical body. But it's not who I am. And once we understand that and we look at it as for what it is, then we can start appreciating ourselves and look after ourselves a bit better. Some years ago, I had a guy come and see me, wanted to lose some weight. He smoked and he was overweight. I think he was 53, so his father died when he was 54. Now this guy pulls up in a car that must have been worth about £150,000, this car. It was one of those, just fantastic car. I said to him, I said, do you have your car maintained? Oh yeah, he said, it's a beautiful car. I said, do you have it maintained? Yeah, he said, yeah, I always have it maintained. Do you put the best fuel in it? Yeah, I put the best fuel in it. And I bet you keep the body right. He said, yeah. I said, well, the truth of the matter is we can do some hypnosis, but you might as well just go away and treat your body with the same amount of care that you treat your car. You can always buy another car. You can't get another one of these. But most people treat their car better than they treat their bodies. That's what we're like as human beings. Once we understand, this is our transport. This is what enables us to interact with other people, but it's not who we are. So I'm speaking to the essence of who you are today. We're going to leave your body behind for a while. It will be a big experience for you because you probably never experienced it before. It'll be a moment of liberation. But I want you to enjoy it and get into this, okay? Listen if you want, but I don't mean this rudely. I'm not interested in your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind will have got to say, and it will take from it what's needed for you to free yourself from every ounce of those negative habitual ways of, so that you can focus on what you want to do, make the right decisions, take the right actions, get the right outcome for yourself. So if you're ready to do this, I want you to all get comfortable. Look on this as time out for yourself. As I said, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that chair will support you. I'm just going to let everyone else in so I can see everybody. And your chair will support you. If for any reason the internet goes down or anything like that, you will not be stuck in a trance, and you will come out of that trance at some point in the future. I have no idea when that will be. So, if you're ready to do this, we just, okay, right. What I do is this: place your hands separately, place your feet separately if you can, and get comfortable. Just take a breath in, and as you take that breath in and you breathe out, allow your eyes to close, but only as quickly as you're ready to have a wonderful experience of hypnosis. That's right. Just for a moment, focus on those tiny muscles around your eyes and allow your eyes to relax. Imagine that's happening as you listen to my voice. Your eyes are relaxing so completely they just won't work. Imagine that's happened now. And imagine they're so relaxed they just won't work. And when you realize that your eyes are so relaxed they just won't work, and there's nothing you can do about that, just for a while, you can test them and find it completely locked, just for a while. Now, nothing bothers you, nothing affects you, nothing disturbs you. And all that matters now is you and the sound of my voice and that feeling of freedom. And I'm going to say some words. And I want you, just in your own mind, silently to yourself, repeat these words as I say them. As I say these words, I want you just to repeat them in your mind and aim these words at yourself, okay? I am completely calm and relaxed. I am completely calm and relaxed. I am completely calm. That's right. Just allow your eyes to close. Go even deeper. I am completely calm and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. I am completely calm and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. I am completely calm and relaxed. That's right. Feel your body sinking down into that chair and imagine that's happening automatically. I've had a bliss anesthesia. I've had a general anesthesia. Just for a while. Nobody wants anything. No one expects anything. There is nothing for you to do but to relax. Feel yourself sinking deeper, deeper down into that chair. Nothing affects you, nothing disturbs you. Because with the eyes closed, your body can continue to relax. Every word I say takes you deeper, deeper, deeper down into that feeling. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you'll go. 10, 20, 100 times deeper. As you continue to learn, even more than before, about your abilities, your capacities to learn as you relax. And the mind begins to drift down toward a place, peaceful, calm, inner awareness. A place that almost seems to give off signals that directs awareness down toward it, into it. More and more comfortably, more and more effortlessly, more and more completely and deeply than before. Because not moving, not speaking makes it easier to not listen to anything other than the sound of my voice. Every word I say is going to take you deeper and deeper into that wonderful state of hypnosis. Even deeper than before, that's right. 10, 20, 100 times deeper now. Every word I say is going to take you even deeper. Imagine that's happening automatically. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. As you drift into that space, my voice, my words are going to drift with you to become a part of your experience. Everything I say now becomes reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, and logical level is now your reality. Because you have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. And that unconscious mind, the back of the mind, can continue to hear, to understand and respond to those things I might say, without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. That's right. Letting go even of the effort it takes to make the effort that it might take. To tell the exact position of arms, legs, or the entire body now that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful free floating place of effortless relaxation and letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own ways. You drift as a mind. And that mind drifts with boundaries, without borders, without limits. Just for a moment. Feel the essence of who you are, separating from your physical body. That intangible part of your being. The essence of who you are, just separating from your body. Imagine it's drifting up out of your body. The passenger in that human form, the observer that watches everything you do. Feel that the essence of who you are drifting away from your body. Most incredible thing of liberation. You may be able to see your body in that chair as you drift away from it. You can see the clothes you're wearing. As you drift further and further away from your physical body, imagine drifting up higher and higher. Imagine you're drifting so high that you're actually drifting away from this planet, drifting out into space. You can look back and you can see that beautiful, incredible planet Earth below you. See that beautiful blue planet. You can see the whites of the clouds, the whites of the mountaintops, the greens of the forest and the blue of the ocean. And notice as you continue to drift further and further out into space and you see that planet. And notice how your perspective changes. You can think about the 7.5 billion people on that planet, of which you are one. And notice how your perspective changes. Just for a moment, see yourself in that chair and recognize just how incredible you are. Note that you are the most incredible creation in the known universe. You are unique. You are incredible. There is no one else like you. There never has been, there never will be. Think about that. In the history of the universe, you are unique. You are incredible. And as you drift further and further away, see that planet going further and further away till it becomes a pinprick in the whole of the universe. And notice how your perspective changes. Things that had seemed overwhelming no longer have any power over you. Things that had seemed difficult or impossible to do no longer have any power over you. And as you continue to drift, the essence of who you are, you recognize that you are not your body. You are not your name. You are not your thoughts. Because you don't know what you were thinking this time yesterday. And you don't know what you'll be thinking 3 thoughts from now. And whatever you thought you were, you are far, far, far more than that. And feel that feeling of liberation and freedom as you drift, the essence of who you are, that intangible part of your being. And as you drift further and further out, just imagine just drifting out through the known universes, the galaxies within the galaxies. Just imagine just drifting without any earth eyes. An incredible feeling of liberation. As you do that, you can use your unconscious mind as a strength, as a resource that you can learn from and really have an experience now. As the essence of who you are drifts freely through the universe, I'd like your unconscious mind to allow me to speak directly to the part of you that is responsible for your thinking, for your thoughts, those thoughts that just bubble up from that space. And every now and again, the conscious mind hears one, sees one, grabs hold of one. But those incredible ability to think, I'd like to speak directly to that part of you now. I'd like to ask it to go to your creative mind, the part of you that dreams, has ideas, makes plans, and allow that wonderful creative mind to run and flow and work, and to identify those positive habitual ways of thinking and the ones that are negative habitual ways of thinking that have been placed on you throughout your life, and to identify the difference between those ways of thinking, and to make whatever changes are necessary at a molecular, cellular, neurological level that will allow you complete and utter freedom from those negative habitual thinking patterns. Allow you the natural concerns that everyone should have so you can be safe. Allow you complete freedom from the negative habitual thinking patterns. I'd like it to start that search now. And as it does that, I want you just for a moment to have the wonderful experience of being 9 months old again, or a year old again. That time in your life when you just felt you could do anything, that all you needed was love. You needed was security, and you felt you could do anything before those negative voices placed upon you, teachings. Go back to that moment when you were 9 months old, 6 months old, a year old. That feeling of absolute joy, that natural intelligence you were born with before it was learned out of you, like a tree, like a bird that knows how to sing. It's never taught how to sing, it's just a natural ability. And go back just for a moment, enjoy it. No, it's okay to enjoy it. Go back, you're a baby, you're 9 months old, you're a year old, and you're in that beautiful body, and all you need is love and security and food and water. And you had no doubts. None of those negative opinions and beliefs were placed on you yet. Just for a moment, enjoy that feeling. Pull that feeling back into you. That is your natural intelligence, the natural intelligence you were born with. You can take a handful of seeds, flower seeds in your hand, various flowers, and you can take those various seeds in your hand and you can look and be very hard pushed to say which flower, which seed was which flower, unless you're a horticulturist. You put each of those seeds in your hand knows its potential. It knows what it will be, whether it's a rose or a daffodil. It knows already. Within that seed, it has the potential to be that wonderful flower, to give off that light and that perfume. And all it needs is the right environment, the right care, the right nutrition, the right amount of hydration for it to bloom. At the moment of conception, your full potential was there. Everything you could possibly be in that moment of conception. And that natural intelligence is still there within you. All you need to do is allow yourself to experience it, allow yourself to be it. Every negative, limiting belief that was ever placed on you, even with kindness or love or the bright intention that's ever held you back, you can let go of. You can look at those decisions you made in your life from the evolved place you are now, because you are not the same person you were a week ago. You are not the same person you were a year ago or 20 years ago. You have evolved. And you can revisit those decisions and ask the question, is that decision any longer viable now that I've evolved? And know it's okay when you realize that they're no longer viable to delete that decision and make a new decision from where you are now, with the understanding you have now, the strength you have now. So you can take the right action, so you can get the right outcome you want in your life. And so as you drift, the essence of who you are drifting away, and as that body just sits there in that chair and relaxes completely, and understanding you are not your body, you are not your name that was given to you, you are not your thoughts, because you have no control over those thoughts. We only have control over the action we take from those thoughts. Whatever you thought you are far, far, far more than that. I'd like to ask that responsible for your thinking patterns to make those changes now that will allow you the freedom from every negative, limiting thinking, habitual pattern of behavior that's ever held you back. To recognize that that is what they are. Someone else's opinion, probably, or a decision made in a less informed stage of your life. You no longer have to live with that decision. You can delete it and make a new decision. So in a while, I'm going to count to 10. You back into that physical form. On 8, your eyes will open. You will feel incredible. New way of thinking, a new way of living, a new way of being. Free of the past, free of every limiting belief. And on 10, that feeling of empowerment, that feeling of freedom is going to grow stronger day by day as you start to think in a different way and know that you are not your thoughts, you are not your body, you are not your name. You are far, far more than that, the intangible part of your being that is infinite, that has no edge. Just for a moment, I want you to think for a moment about the people you love and people that love you. Think for a moment about the people you've helped throughout your life, whose lives are different because of you, because of your kindness, your knowledge, your love. I want you to think about that army of people you've helped throughout your life. Just for a moment, see them. And I want you to feel that love right now. Feel it like a burning hot sun in a summer sky. Now shrink it down to a white hot nuclear powered ball of light as big as a golf ball. I want you to pull that into your heart center. Feel your heart expanding with that love and that light. Feel it spreading to every cell, every fiber, into the very marrow of your bones. Feel it lighting you up, lifting you up. Feel that love now and notice that your body cannot contain it. And feel it spreading beyond your body now and rippling out to the edges of the known universe. It is infinite. And feel yourself at the center of that energy and that love. Let that remind you of who you are and just how incredible you are, because you are the most incredible creation in the known universe. And from today, you're going to be kinder to yourself. You're going to take care of that incredible body. You're going to give it the right nutrition, give it the right hydration, and be kind to it, because you are worth it. So get ready as I count to 10. On 8, your eyes will open. You will feel incredible. I don't know, it'll be 5 minutes from now, or an hour from now, 20 years from now, when you suddenly realize you've been thinking differently. And every one of those negative, habitual thinking patterns changed right here, right now, replaced by a calm and inner confidence a new understanding and a love for yourself and your body and your mind. And know it's okay to love yourself, to appreciate yourself. So get ready. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful. 2, to feel that freedom now. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limiting belief that was ever placed on you. Just for a moment, think about that beautiful baby that you were. The natural intelligence that you were born with, the ability to love, the ability to feel, the ability to enjoy. Just for a moment, feel it again. Recapture that moment before it was talked out of you. 4, feel a force of that energy and love flooding your body and your mind. 5, feeling incredibly alive. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely wonderful. 9, 10. Excellent. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the experience. We did some astra planing or whatever it's called today. So I hope you enjoyed it. And but I know that you're going to be thinking differently. Look after yourselves. Be kinder to yourself. Treat yourself to a Snickers bar now and again if you have to. You know that we're human and we're allowed to enjoy. Okay. Well, look, it's always great to see you all. Thanks for being here for forever, Sarah. I appreciate the fact you've been here since March, and I try to find something different every time. But all of you, if you've got any ideas for what we can work on, just let me know, something you particularly want to be working on, and then we can do it. Okay. But treat yourselves to the health you want, treat yourself to the love, the kindness you want, and just live the way you want to live it. And say, if you get a chance, go and have a look at Diana's presentation. It's very worth watching. If you're if you'd like to know more about EFT, if you're already doing EFT, but Diana, you can tell she is love. She is loving. So just go and enjoy it. Okay. But thanks again for joining me and being here today. I wish you all the best for the weekends. Be happy, be well, and I'll see you all soon. Right, take care.